Tim, when you have the running game going, you can do almost anything you want. Play action passing is very good. Screens and draws are also very good. Here's a screen here. The offensive line simulating a pass, block, hold a count, and here they come, slipping out to the right. Joe Hilgenberg, 61, and Dombrowski, number 72, leading the way for Ruben Mays on the screen. A very effective play. Again, because you're able to run the ball, you can control the line of scrimmage and mix up your play selection this way.
2.5 yards needed for a first down. Hayward. Ran right through Ricky Reynolds inside the 30.
Tim, when you look at this run, you can appreciate Hayward's power. First of all, it's well blocked at the point of attack. Hobie Brenner, a tight end, number 85, comes back inside, or 82 actually. John Tyson's there holding the corner. Now, Ironhead has good enough speed to get outside. Now, here comes number 29. When a head-on-head tackle, one-on-one, Ricky Reynolds can't stop him. The big guy just ran right through him.
Reuben Davis ranged a long way back to make the tackle. First down, New Orleans inside the 30 of Tampa Bay. Mays to the 25. Eugene Marv made the tackle. So this looks a lot like last week against Cincinnati for the Saints. Both Mays and Hayward sharing the load and running effectively.
Yeah, but Tim, a little bit of a difference. Last week, it was Hayward inside, Mays outside. Today what I'm seeing is Hayward starting inside and sliding to the outside if it's there, and Mays coming inside. So he sort of reversed the assignments with the tailback hitting up inside and the big guy with enough speed to get around the corners.
Each has carried 6 times. Hayward for 46 yards, Mays for 21. This time they stuff him. Good defensive pursuit by the Buccaneers. Loss of about 2, maybe 3 on the play. Keith McCants and Marv coming up well to make the stop.
Buck played it very well, but again, you have to honor both those guys. This was happening last week, Tim. Last week, Craig Hayward running for 122 yards and Mays 115, and that's the best they've done in a long time here.
Well, the last time a pair of running backs each had more than 100 for the Saints was back in 1976. Galbraith and Muncie. Those two guys were great players, each in their own right. They're down in 7. Walsh, he's got Perriman. Touchdown.
Tim, this is a key play for a lot of reasons. First of all, he had good pass protection up front, so Walsh had time to throw the ball. He makes a delivery to his favorite target, number 80, Brett Perriman, next teammate of his from the University of Miami. A couple of weeks ago, he told us Perriman could be one of the greatest receivers in the league if we can keep his confidence up. I like to go to him early in the game because he could be a game breaker. That's one right there today, a 26-yard strike to Perriman.
Morton Anderson has the point after. We are tied. A 26-yard scoring strike. Steve Walsh to Brett Perriman, and Walsh throwing with authority right on the money to tie it up. His team is on the board, having tied it at 7 here. 83 yards in 9 plays, 5:25 off the clock. Saints-style football, a 26-yard strike from Steve Walsh to Brett Perriman. Danny Peebles waits for it in the end zone, a yard deep, and he decides to bring it out, nearly dropped the ball. A flag down, he only got to the 6. Ryan Ford made the tackle. And Peebles a little slow to get up. There was a flag on the play.
Tim, this play is a disaster. Peebles comes in and he doesn't quite touch the end line. He could have stayed in the end zone. He thought he was on the field of play and elected to come out. Now, when he was tackled here, he wound up injuring his leg. Number 52, Ryan Ford, making the tackle.
Illegal block in the back. Number 89 receiving team. Half the distance penalty.
first down.
Jesse Anderson charged with a penalty. That'll back him up inside the 5. We're tied at 7. 5:21 to go first half at the Superdome. Danny Peebles is still down, taking the hit from Brian Ford on the kickoff return. And they're going to take him off. As you can see, they're going to have him carried off. And we'll obviously pass on the extended word on the injury as soon as we get it. Danny Peebles, reserve wide receiver, a great speedster, sprinter in college, and becoming a more important man in their pass attack, and now suffers an injury here on the kick return. So Ray Perkins is concerned, of course, on behalf of his players. As Peebles will be carried off, taken off on the little truck down here. So taking a quick look around the league here as this playoff picture, as you can see, with a few teams doing so well at the top. There's San Francisco and the Giants still unbeaten. Surprise rough seas, if you will, for the Rams, Minnesota, Cleveland. But what that's done, Irv, has kept a lot of teams involved in the playoff picture. You get a few contenders that don't do so well. Suddenly that keeps everybody else in. Coming later today, you'll see the unbeaten Giants against the struggling LA Rams. The Rams knocking the Giants out of playoff championship hopes last year. On first down, the Saints stuff the Tampa Bay Bucs, Gary Anderson. They have to start from their 4-yard line after the penalty, the illegal block on the punt on the kickoff return. No gain on that play. Minnesota with an early lead over Detroit. Phoenix giving Buffalo a hard time so far. Second down and 10. Reggie Cobb struggles for about 3 yards. Met by Jim Wilkes, number 94, the right defensive end. Crowd of about 65,000 here at the Superdome today, and having just watched their team tie it up at 7 here in the first half. Pass from Walsh to Perriman. Defensive and offensive substitutions on the third down play. Harvey and Pillow and Drury come in. Now Peebles would be in the 3 wide receiver set, so it's Willie Drury in that spot now. Chris Chandler, the quarterback, if you joined us along the way, his second start. From the end zone, the ball is loose. And it will be New Orleans ball inside the 1. Ronaldo Turnbull came up with it. Now let's see whether the Saints are going to have the ball or not. It is Tampa ball. We cannot hear the public address announcement. Let's see what happens.
Number 57, Ricky Jackson makes a play, Tim, coming out the corner from a stand-up linebacker position, demonstrating great speed. He's their all-time sacker here in New Orleans. Again, watch, 57 at the top of your screen, beats the tackle's block here, makes the hit. Now the ball's knocked out of Chandler's hand. That's a fumble. Let's see who recovers it. Well, right now, I don't know. Look like New Orleans had it.
Defensive holding penalty against the Saints on the play, but I believe they ruled that an incomplete pass.
Oh, no. Could have been a fumble.
On first down, a pass knocked down by Sam Mills, intended for Ron Hall. And evidently that defensive penalty against the New Orleans Saints wiped out the fumble recovery. And it was, we're now being told, illegal contact before the fumble.
Okay. Well, the Saints would have recovered the ball otherwise if it hadn't been for that penalty.
Right, the penalty against New Orleans. So it cost them possession of the ball. Not ruled an incomplete pass. And the fans, of course, are not happy about these developments. Chandler gets a life out at the 12-yard line. Second down. A flag on the play. Out for Cobb. Cobb straight arms his way out to the 19-yard line. Cook and Maxey trying to stop him there, short of the first down. And it's going to be offside against New Orleans.
Tim, what's happened here is the Saints have decided to be more aggressive on defense. They've run a series of blitzes here, knocking the ball out of Chandler's hand.
Number 57 defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Near the goal line, and this time the linebackers jamming up inside want to get a good push right in Chandler's face. Number 51, Mills is there. Now watch 57, Ricky Jackson. He wants to get a quick start. He's in the neutral zone, offside. But the last 2 or 3 series plays we've seen that Saint defense come in there with some kind of a blitz to try to put more heat on Chandler.
It leaves a 2nd and 5 for the Buccaneers at their own 18. Anderson, not much, a couple of yards. Saints plug up the middle. And Mills at the bottom of that. Michael Simmons, number 96, the first-year man from Mississippi State, coming over to help. It'll be 3rd down and 2. 7-7 game, 2:53 to go, first half.
That's a little bit of a lineup change, Tim. Michael Simmons, number 76, playing in Ronaldo Turnbull's spot, who started last week. The rookie from West Virginia had a good game, but Simmons apparently plays a run better than Turnbull.
Chandler intended for Anderson, incomplete. Threw that one into the turf. And so the Buccaneers will have to punt. So Chandler getting off to a good start, 4 of 4 in the opening drive. Gave the Bucs a 7-0 lead and used up more than 10 minutes on the clock. But now the Saints stop them here and force the punt. Bobby Morse back to receive. Punt from Mark Royal. Morse standing at the New Orleans 36.
Tim, the Saints have a decided edge today in special teams play. They had a nice long kickoff return, had a punt return that was almost broken before this one, and here's another chance. This is well blocked.
Morse gets to midfield, stopped there by Sam Ano, a 39-yard punt by Royal. We'll be right back. That Cadillac commercial, he's driving something a little bit older. Well, it is a GM car, Irv, but it's a 1939 Chevy. Isn't that a beauty?
It really is. It's in great shape. He told me he has 99,000 miles on it. I said, is that all? I said, yeah, the meter stopped there some years ago.
I wonder if he bought that from his owner, Tom Benson. I don't know whether he handles those kinds of automobiles.
He bought it at an auction, and he's really quite proud of it.
Dan Brock, veteran tackle. 32 years of age, out of Colorado, the right tackle, and his team has a first down near midfield after Morse's punt return. 2:17 to go, first half. Reuben Mays got about 3 before he was driven back by Tim Newton and Eugene Marv. And we are reaching the 2-minute warning in a tie football game at the Superdome. Bucks scored first. New Orleans tied it up here. Watch their Saints against the Buccaneers. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross bringing you the action on CBS Sports. New Orleans with the football in midfield. They have 2 timeouts remaining. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Ewald taking a timeout earlier when he didn't like the look of the defense. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue is attending the game today and in the owner's box with Tom Benson and the Saints. Got good eyesight, doesn't need the binoculars. 2nd and 7 for New Orleans. One setback is Hayward. Touchdown! an automated bowling ball when he gets going. 47 yards. Watch him take out the Bucs like pins.
The key here, though, Tim, is he had two tight ends lined up to one side. It was almost like an unbalanced line. The Saints really had the Tampa Bay defense outflanked. They had more offensive blockers than defensive players. That's the result. Let this guy get in the open field. Who in the world is going to stop him by themselves? No one. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Well, he bowled over both Hamilton and Reynolds to get into the end zone.
This happened to Ricky Reynolds for the second time. You think he has a headache now?
Morton Anderson, believe, called timeout on the point after.
1 yard. Repeat the try.
I guess they ran out of time.
You were asking me during the commercial break, Tim, what will the Saints do here? So you keep running the ball. They get about 12, 15 yards. They'll be well within Morton Anderson's field goal range. So here they come with a run right off your left guard. A well-conceived play again. The Saints had more offensive blockers than Tampa Bay had defensive players, and resulted in a touchdown.
Well, now it's a 25-yard point after for Anderson. And he's got it. And we'll be back at the Superdome in a moment. By the Saints this year, 47 yards. John Harvey and Drury are the deep men. Now, of course, Peebles injured on the last kickoff return. Not out there where he would normally be as a deep man.
Okay.
Drury from the 1. Loose ball. Let's see who got it. Morton Anderson had a chance to fall on that ball, and it looked like he decided maybe I won't bother. I think I'm sure he was making a very sensible decision to preserve his valuable kicking leg.
All right. Well, watch this, though. Morton Anderson, number 7, had the chance to fall on this fumble, but he elects to pass it up. Just drop on it, Morton. Drop on it. Well, tried to pick it up. What you have to do is just lower your body on it, caress that ball. He could have recovered it. Well, we have to give him some interception, some fumble recovery drills. That's all. He's accustomed to kicking the ball, not picking up fumbles.
Bruce Perkins came up with the ball for the Tampa Bay Bucs, and then they were evidently penalized on the return because it's back at the 20-yard line. So the Buccaneers maintain possession. Nearly coughed it up to New Orleans, still with 1:42 to play. Drop play for Gary Anderson, and the Saints swarm to the football. Loss of a yard. Turnbull and Mills on the stop.
Tim, let's take a look at the blocking of that last touchdown run by Ironhead Hayward. The key here against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive players, 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive players in the line of scrimmage. Look what happens. You have more offensive blockers than defenders to control the line of scrimmage. There goes Hayward scot-free. Everybody's blocked. And he rambles into the end zone for a touchdown.
Second and 10. Gary Anderson, a diving catch back to the ball. An effort by Gary Anderson on the pass from Chandler, and a flag on the play, however. 54 seconds remaining first half. Just to clarify on the kickoff return, the penalties against Tampa Bay. There was no penalty once Drury coughed it up, even though it was recovered upfield by the Buccaneers. Of course, he could not advance. They could not advance the ball since it wasn't Drury who came up with the ball, so it was back where he fumbled it.
Holding.
Where they started.
74 offense. 10 yards. Repeat second down.
Paul Gruber charged with holding on the play. And that'll back it up to the 10-yard line. You saw a look of disgust from Ray Perkins.
Tim.
At halftime, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw will have all the scores and highlights and latest information from around the league. Second down and 20. Perkins for about 4 yards. close to the 15, and the Saints defensively starting to shut down the Buccaneers.
Number 2, 40-second timeout.
And the Saints take a timeout with 46 seconds left to play. They hope to get the ball back. Penned in back there, but that's kind of unusual for number 74.
Well, no doubt about it. It's his first holding penalty since October 16th, 1988. He just doesn't do that, but apparently Jim Wilkes was a handful, and he wound up grabbing some of his jersey.
Yeah, it came on a running play, too. Interesting. Pillow and Drury, John Harvey all in as receivers, along with Carrier and Hill. Chandler gets it out to Mark Carrier, and Carrier gets to the 20-yard line. The fourth down. And the Buccaneers will punt. And the Saints again take the final timeout that they have in this first half, and hoping to have one or two plays when they get the ball. Line of scrimmage at the 21-yard line of Tampa. 14-7, New Orleans lead on Craig Hayward's 47-yard touchdown run.
Tim, he's just been awesome the last few weeks. You just wonder if Coach Moore is thinking now about maybe letting him run a little bit more. You know, giving the ball 25, 30 times a game. That's not normally his style in approaching a game plan. He goes into a game plan saying that we're going to do what we have to do depending on how the game is dictated to us. We might run or might block it. Boy, he's a lot of fun to watch carrying the football.
Now, this game is presented by authority of the National Football League. The CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of CBS, the Saints, and the NFL is prohibited. Punt comes down to the 34-yard line. Well, it's spotted at the 36. Out of bounds over there. So Royal doing the job of not giving the Saints a return opportunity. But they still have 28 seconds left to make a couple of plays here.
28 seconds and 2 timeouts, and at the 40-yard line, they can get about 30 yards here. And again, they'll be well within Morton Anderson's field goal range. He's got one of the longest legs in the league, and 45, 50-yard kick really isn't much of a challenge for him. So I'm sure they're probably thinking that way now. Let's get in field goal range, then decide what we want to do with the ball after that.
Little shovel pass, incomplete, intended for Finnerty, and a flag down late. Let's see what Gordon McCarter and his head linesman come up with here. That is Dave Anderson, head linesman number 81. Walsh 4 of 4 passing until that play.
There is no foul. The forward pass, first hit, and eligible receivers. Merely an incomplete pass, second down.
An incomplete pass as Finnerty can hold on to the little shovel pass.
But the reason why it was incomplete, though, is that Keith McCants from his outside linebacker position was coming through on a blitz, and he was actually in the backfield when the ball was passed forward. That's why it was dropped.
So 2nd and 10 for the Saints. The 35-yard line. Same play. Finnerty met by 5 Buccaneers. Not a lot of blocking help out that side. Only about a 4-yard pickup.
Kind of an unusual call because they tried it early on, couldn't get away with it, but they thought maybe they worked the sidelines here or something. Stop the clock. They have a couple of timeouts.
Well, they're going to run out of time here.
We're going to let it go.
Well, that was a reasonably ugly final series of plays for the New Orleans Saints. At the end of the first half with the score. Well, now wait a minute. It isn't the end of the first half. We've got this is a good scene on the field here. We've got the halftime show. We've got all of the Buccaneers. We've got the entire official staff.
I misread the clock here, Tim. The Saints did not have any timeouts left. They couldn't stop the clock for the
Because of
timeout.
our inability to get a ball in from the sideline, I am determining that there are 4 seconds remaining in the half, so it's time for a play.
Okay. In other words, they said, hey, it was our fault we didn't get a ball in, so they couldn't get the play off. We're going to put 4 seconds back up there, and the Saints get another life. They'll have a third down from their 40-yard line and a chance to chuck one deep here if that's their intent. But really, the Saints didn't manage these last 2 or 3 plays very well here. Having called the timeout to give themselves an opportunity, they haven't done anything with it. Penalty again, and that's incomplete right off his hands, but Murphy was right with him the whole way. So that is now the end of the first half with the score, the New Orleans Saints 14, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7. Our coverage continues after this word. Last year at the Superdome, and the Bucs opened the scoring here with a very impressive opening drive. Chris Chandler at quarterback, marched them right down the field, passed well, but only 4 times. They ran the ball very well.
Well, he's very effective. Here's the touchdown that Chris Chandler did run in there. He went back and throw the ball outside. The carrier couldn't find him, and then elects to run here. Does a pretty good job getting himself into the end zone, and Toy Cook, number 41, makes contact here as he does a flip into the end zone.
All right, and I think for Chandler, that was important for him to get off that well. Here's Hayward's 47-yard touchdown run that sent New Orleans up 14-7.
This is really an impressive run. Of course, it's well blocked up front, and Hayward, confronting a defensive back, just ignores him, stiff arms him, and then rambles into the end zone.
Well, this is the opening kickoff of the second half of play with the home team on top, 14-7. And Gene Atkins brings it out just shy of the 20-yard line, and so Steve Walsh will have the ball first as we begin the second half here on a 7-point margin in favor of the home team. And in that first half, you can see the Saints with 116 yards rushing to 77, and that 7.7 average largely made up by Ironhead Hayward. First down. Ruben Mays. Mays has a good hold, and Mays all the way out to the 35-yard line.
You really wonder what's going on here, Tim. Again, Ruben Mays does a good job of picking the hole off his right tackle. Stan Brock and Hobie Brenner on the point of attack do a good job of blocking down, cleaning everybody out of there. And here comes Ruben picking his way through the hole for a big run. That's about a 12-yard run, weaving his way in and out of a lot of traffic there. But the key again, though, is that Hobie Brenner and Stan Brock were able to collapse the defense down inside.
Well, you can see both these teams wanting to run the ball today and doing it very effectively. Ruben Mays seems to get stronger with every run, coming back off his series of injuries. Hayward blasts his way for close to another 10 yards. And a little extracurricular activity at the end of that play. Not sure what brought that about. Maybe they're getting tired of being run over by Ironhead.
Well, if you can't tackle him when he's carrying the ball, jump on him when he's down. I think it's just you get a late hit there really by Trapillo was one offensively. Number 65 Trapillo was one who's going to probably get called. There wasn't any penalty, but there was some exterior. The 65 watch Trapillo kind of bounced in there. He's trying to get a block to clean things out. Rule number 1 in pro football, Tim, is you never stand around a pile. So things like that happen. That's right. Ricky Reynolds gets knocked off there.
102 yards on the day for Hayward. We're just in the second half. A loose ball. Well, the turnover plague has afflicted both of these teams, and it looks like the Saints get lucky here. If the ball came loose, Hayward chopping it up, but the Saints have recovered.
Hayward's pretty sure-handed normally, Tim, but let's see what happens on this exchange as Walsh spins out. Puts the ball, it's really in there. He really he knocks it out with his right hand. His left arm is up to receive the ball, but as the ball was placed in there, he sort of punched it out with his right hand. So it really wasn't nestled in the pocket properly. But I worked on those exchanges. They had a lot of trouble here, particularly with Walsh and Finnerty on the exchanges.
Looks like Stan Brock might have been the man to cover it for the Saints. The late first down. Mays, oh, good defensive play. Blasting in with Robinson, the safety, on a blitz, and in the backfield at about the time that Mays got the ball.
You have to do like this. You have to have a play like this, Tim, when you're successful running off tackle to the outside. We talked a number of times about how effective the Saints were with having Hayward come across as a blocking back, almost like another guard. You want to bring an additional defender up there. The Buccaneers elect to do it this time with Mark Robinson, the strong safety, who just blitzed in the corner, making the play.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Walsh for Scales, and it's incomplete. Greg Scales, we were told earlier, was not going to return to the game with an elbow injury, but he's been back out there for a couple of series. And it'll be 3rd down. John Cannon seeing some more defensive time at the right end, where Jim Scow has been the starter since coming over from Cincinnati, and Goff being traded here to New Orleans. But John Cannon, a valuable starter and backup over 9 years with the Bucs, has replaced Scow out there, and I think that has to mean that they've been running effectively, perhaps a little more to that side, and punishing Scow. 3rd down. Walsh intended for Eric Martin, too high, incomplete. So the Bucs hold, and New Orleans will have to punt. Eric Martin, the leading pass receiver for New Orleans, 33 catches coming into the game. Had no chance on that one. Barnhart will punt, standing at his 29. And the deep man is Willie Drury at the 15-yard line of Tampa Bay. Pretty good rush by the Bucs. Good effort by Barnhart. Fair caught at the 15-yard line, where Tampa Bay will begin when we return to the Superdome. Tim Ryan, Irv Cross, 3rd quarter, Superdome, 14-7. New Orleans Saints lead. Bucs have it 1st down from their 15, and coming up next, the Giants and the Rams. Who do you like there? The unbeaten Giants or the Rams are really needed at home?
Well, the Rams need it, but I like the Giants big, Tim. You know, the Giants have the best pass offense in the league, and the Rams are really struggling defensively.
On 1st down, Reggie Cobb gets about 2. Sam Mills and making Pig Goff with the initial contact, number 91. Former Buccaneer. He was eager to play this game. The nice thing about Goff, when we talked to him, was asking him about how he felt about being traded over here, sent away from Tampa Bay. He didn't want to leave, but he said, hey, I have no hard feelings towards Ray Perkins. When you talked to Ray Perkins last night, he said, you know, we both cried a little bit. They really have a very nice, close relationship, but it was something that the Bucs felt they had to do. Big Goff found himself a starting home here on the nose. Anderson gets about 4. Big Goff said that he played nose tackle in college. He was used as a defensive end at Tampa Bay, so he's just getting comfortable again on the nose. There's that Saints offensive line, getting ready for the next series.
They had a big week last week. They have another big week this week. The offensive line receives something called attaboy hats. They give out game balls, one game ball, an offensive player, defensive player, and a special teams player. And for those players that had outstanding games, the coach gives them something he calls an attaboy hat. The offensive line received one last week.
3rd down and 3. Chandler under pressure. Sack. Ball loose, but play is dead at the 13-yard line. Chandler wrapped up by 3 Saints, and he is hurt.
Boy, what the pressure, Tim. What the Saints want to do is try to put pressure right in front of Chandler, force him back out of the pocket. They say, you know, collapse. They're putting pressure in the pocket right in the middle. Now watch, again, the ends coming upfield, number 94, doing a pretty good job. Jim Wilkes keeping him contained, but then the pressure comes inside, and Chandler is stuck.
Wilkes made the first contact on him, and then a lot of the Saints teammates got there, and Chandler leaves under his own power. And he took a pretty good lick. So it's 4th down. Chandler will get a chance to compose himself again, as Royals will have to punt from the end zone. The Saints defense has been improving with each series, and the Bucs are having more trouble moving the ball. Expect the rush here with Royals in the end zone. Good protection for him. Good kick. Morse falls down. Did it hit him? The Buccaneers down it at the 35. Odie Harris. And Harris, I know, saying, hey, that ball hit the punt returner. Oh, that's what Harris is hot about. He thinks it ought to be Buck's ball. We'll be back.
Bobby Morris is back here to receive this kick. Watch where the ball hits. As it comes down, it looks like the first shot we had, it hit him in the back. It clearly doesn't. It bounces a full yard away from him. So the ball remains the Saints football.
Now there was a penalty against the Bucs. There's Mora. Mora saying what we are assuming that what Mora saw is what they wound up calling, and that is that Harris, coming downfield, had stepped out of bounds and come back onto the field of play. That's illegal procedure against the punting team. And where we thought that Harris was perhaps complaining that the ball had hit Morse and therefore should have been Tampa Bay ball, evidently he was complaining about the call on him.
Yep.
So they're going to punt it over again. And Bobby Morse, who had stumbled trying to catch the ball, saw it come down very near him. In fact, it looked like he may have decided to roll away so the ball wouldn't hit him.
He did a pretty good job
for being alert.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job as he was falling. He maneuvered his body at the same time and rolled away from the ball. Had he not been able to do that, it probably would have hit him right in the middle of the bat.
So Tampa will kick it over again is the bottom line on this thing. Royals again standing a yard deep in the end zone. Saints showing rush once more. Again, good protection by the Bucs. Morse this time has the speed under him and fair catches it at the 44-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Well, next week, an important college football doubleheader. You'll see Texas against TCU. Texas victory over Houston yesterday places the Longhorns on the top of the SWC on the way to a Cotton Bowl bid, they hope. Game 2, we'll see Tennessee against Mississippi. And Archie Manning, who covers the radio broadcast of the Saints here, the former great Saints quarterback, was also a great quarterback at Ole Miss. 12 of their university passing records belong to that guy, and he's excited about that game. He thinks Ole Miss could well be in the Sugar Bowl. So that's an important one next week. Hayward gets about 4. Chicago on top of Atlanta. Buffalo now widening the lead over Phoenix. It'll be 2nd down and 7. You know, I was talking to Archie Manning down on the field before the game, and we were talking about this new wireless headset that you described on the NFL Today for us, Irv. He said, you know, it's going to put a lot of people out of work who carry those cables around for the coaches as this thing goes around the league. He said when he played, Bum Phillips was the coach, and he used to have a lot of his country music singer friends. They'd get free sideline passes and pull the cable for him. They were called the getaway coaches. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Mays breaks through nicely for a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd and about a yard. Well, why did they call them the getaway coaches? He said, well, their job while they were carrying Bum's cable was to get out there near the sideline and tell the players to get away from the sideline so they wouldn't be penalized for stepping on the field. And that was their job. Bum assigned them. Guys like Mo Bandy and some of those other country singers that were friends of Bum Phillips.
Well, thank heavens we have a new technology available now. The spread spectrum is what this headset is called. It's a wide band radio system that is secure, and no one can intercept the signal.
Scanner-proof, huh?
Scanner-proof, yes.
3rd and 2. Now in Tampa Bay territory, and Hayward laps his way for the first down inside the 45 of Tampa Bay.
This kind of a drive, Tim, is tough. I mean, really tough football for both offensive and defensive lines. Again, look at the pace he's on. Last week he rushed for 122 yards. Today, 108. And he's just into the third quarter here now, but when you have these drives where you're going pounding inside hard for 4 or 5 yards of the crack, it really takes its toll. When you have a big back like Craig Hayward, you can almost intimidate the defense with him.
From the 45-yard line, first down. Walsh has thrown only 9 passes, 5 of 9, and it's Hayward again. Praise Hayward inside the 30. Another Saints first down, and he ran through Kevin Murphy. Roderick Thomas finally pulled him down. He's been running through a lot of different bucks.
Watch this, Tim. Hilgenberg getting a key block here, allowing Ironhead to make the play. Again, collapsing the middle. It's very important in a 3-man line to be tough and solid in the middle. If the nose guard is collapsed, you get runs like this. Now the running back can go from his center all the way over to his tackle to make a cut.
16-yard gain, 124 yards on the day, and here he goes again. That's his 13th carry. Tripped up by Harry Hamilton, but not before he picks up another 8.
I wonder what he's thinking right now. Not Hamilton, but Ironhead. Yesterday he told me, he said, Irv, I don't know if I'm going to be the running back tomorrow or the blocking back, but I'm going into the game prepared to do whatever Coach Moore wants me to do. He's carried the ball 13 times right now, and I guess he's gotten the message. He wants you to carry the mail today.
Well, that's the first sign of heavy breathing we've seen there by Hayward. Finally drew a heavy breath. He's going to go again. And this time they get him. And it was Mark Robinson coming up from safety. And he's now walking a little bit slowly there, Hayward. They might give him a little blow here shortly.
I think he may want to breathe, but again, trying to work off his left guard and tackle. You see what happens here at the point of attack. The defense does a pretty good job controlling the line of scrimmage. Really know where to go. Mark Robinson coming up from his safety position fills nicely. That's a key play. But, I think Ironhead would probably like to have a break here, huh?
Well, they're leaving him in on this third down. They have joined him in the backfield with Reuben Mays now. Third down. This is a big third down play for the Saints and more so for the Bucs, down by 7. Big protection for Walsh, and it's complete to Perriman. First down, New Orleans. To the 18-yard line of Tampa Bay. Walsh keeping that ball low and safe in the middle. And Perriman digging it out.
You can throw a pass like this, Tim, when you have good coordination with your wide receivers. Now, Walsh and Perriman work together at the University of Miami. He knows that Perriman can handle a catch like this very easily, settling inside for the hook pattern, making the catch. So they call Perriman Superman because he has great jumping ability.
From the 14-yard line, the Saints threatening. Hayward tries to get outside and now cuts inside to the 6. Left side of that line is where they've had a lot of success. I mentioned earlier that the Buccaneers had moved in John Cannon over there where Scow had started the game. Scow has always been a somewhat undersized defensive end when he was at Cincinnati, and it has been a question mark for him. So the Bucs have now tried to put some bigger guys over there as well. 2nd and 2. Hayward in the middle, got inside the 5. He'll be close to the first down.
Really tough football, Tim, though. Again, the Saints will oftentimes run 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends. When they have 3 tight ends in the game, they have a balanced look on their offensive line. So you wind up having everybody on the defense forced to block one-on-one. And so far, the Saints have won most of those one-on-one confrontations.
They'll measure for the first down, and John Cannon has continued in that right defensive end spot. First down, Saints. Now the Bucs sent out a couple of other heavyweight types for the goal line defense. 51 yards on this drive in 6 minutes used up. That is more type football, and that's what Ray Perkins wants as well. And he achieved it in the first quarter with a 10-minute, 16-second drive. But the Saints have been able to keep it since then. running behind the tight end. Tight touchdown.
Tim, this is precisely what I was talking about. With 3 tight ends in the game, you have a balanced offensive line. Then the defensive line is forced to stand up one-on-one against the offense. But what happens here, though, is the play starts, Tice goes in motion and becomes a wingback. Now the defense is outflanked. You have more offensive blockers than defenders there. And Ruben Mays simply walks into the end zone.
4-yard touchdown run for Ruben Mays. Anderson for the point after. And the Saints open a 21-7 lead. 4 yards out. Time-consuming drive again for New Orleans. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. 56 yards and 10 plays. Ironhead Hayward has gone over the 100-yard mark for the second game in a row. Hilliard accomplished that for the Saints last year. In fact, 3 games in a row. Dalton Hilliard, who is out with an injury this week. Anderson's long kickoff will not be brought out. Go back and watch that extra point.
Tommy Barnhart here handles a bad snap here. Watch how he handles it, getting the ball down. The other thing, though, he has his back leg up. The reason for that is he can lock his elbow in there and put the ball down in exactly the same spot every time. Now watch Anderson's reaction. Did a good job handling that bad snap. They butt helmets just like the linemen do.
It's a little bit different style of holding by Barnhart. Testaverde has come into the lineup for the Buccaneers. Let's see how he does off the bench. And he's hit from behind on first down. It's still loose and the Saints have it. My, oh my. Ray Perkins cannot believe it. Testaverde never saw the blind side hit. The ball stripped and recovered by the Saints. Pat Swilling put the hit on him.
Tim Swilling, coming from his linebacker position on the outside, simply beats the back there, number 32.
Bruce Perkins.
Bruce Perkins, who can't handle him. Knocks the ball out of any chance. That's a very tough position for a quarterback to be in because that's his blind side. His back is turned to the defense. He couldn't see Swilling coming. You have to seal off the backside.
Ronaldo Turnbull came up with it. Had a great opportunity to blow it open here for the Saints. Hayward to the 2. Vinny Testaverde may be sorry that they put him in there at all.
Well, he has to really be disappointed, Tim. When I talked to him before the game, he was down. He wasn't happy about being benched, but did hope he'd have a chance to come back soon and was looking for, some spark to get back on track here. Unfortunately, his first play was a bad one.
On the 2-yard line, 2nd and goal, New Orleans. Hayward ran into a blocker. Touchdown.
Tim, this is a terrific run. 3 or 4 yards, you say? No, sir. I say it's the kind of a run that tells the defense, we are tougher than you today. Watch this. Several Buccaneers have a chance to hit him at the point of attack. Bang, runs in his own blocker. Boom, 2 tacklers, 3 tacklers. Can't bring him down. That is demoralizing to a defensive football team.
Yeah, he had more trouble with his own man Hilgenberg than he did the Bucs once he got away from the blocker. Anderson again to the point after. And it is now a 28-7 lead.
Swilling simply overpowered Paul Gruber, the left tackle. Really, again, you have to protect the quarterback's backside with 75 backs. The Swilling out can't get there. As a matter of fact, he held him. Swilling still gets in to make the play. Too much speed. There are a couple of ways you can block that. You can go out and block man-to-man and slide the line. In this case, Tampa Bay decided to pull Carl back. Couldn't get there in time.
Draw play for Anderson. Anderson gets back to the 16-yard line, stopped by Turnbull and Von Johnson. And since that opening drive by the Bucs in which they scored, using up 10 minutes on the clock, they have had to punt every time since then, starting deep in their own end, as you can see, and then coughing up the fumble that led to the last score by the Saints.
And the other thing you don't see on that board, Tim, right now is 2 successive sacks by Pat Swilling.
And for Swilling, 5 on the season. Testaverde flush, the flag is down, he just throws it away. In the direction of Anderson, they just try to offload there and hope the flag is against the defense. But it's not, it's against Tampa Bay.
Holding, number 75 offense, penalty declined, 4th down.
Carl Back's charged with the holding, and with Swilling coming on him, you got to believe Back is doing whatever he can now.
Part of the problem, Tim, is that Back is pulling from his guard position. He's about 3 yards inside of the line of scrimmage. He has to pull out to the outside and block Swilling, who's coming out field with a full head of steam. It's hard to do that.
The Royals will punt it from the 2-yard line. Good kick. Backs up Bobby Moore all the way to the 30. And Moore gets to the 42-yard line, hit there by Sam Ano. A 54-yard punt. That's a clutch kick by Mark Royals. He's been kept busy today as the Bucs have not been able to move the ball since the first quarter. On the 42-yard line, the Saints have the ball and 25 seconds to play with here in the third quarter. 48-7 lead. Ruben Mays eludes 1 tackle. A flag comes down, and Mays gets about 5. Tim Newton stopped him. Holding signal against the Saints. Well, they can afford one of those at this stage with the score the way it is.
Holding, number 85 offense, 10 yards, repeat 1st down.
Hobie Brenner charged with holding. Well, Hobie, I think, regretted having mentioned to a local writer that he might consider retirement at the end of this year. He underlined to us that he was only considering retirement. You know, he's got to kind of see how things go. He's got his 10 years in, but, you know, if this team had a winning record of 6-1 or something at this point, I'm not so sure that Hobie would have said that at all. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The New Orleans Saints 28, the Tampa Bay Bucs 7. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. Jay Hilgenberg, the center of the Bears, gave us this initially earlier in the season. His brother Joel agrees with it, the center here for the Saints. It's kind of a how are we doing kind of a graphic, Irv. They're doing pretty well.
Pretty darn well. They had attaboy hats last week. They're going to get more this week. Only 1 quarterback hassle. We'll come back to it later, but Hilgenberg, the guy in the center there, sort of sets the pace for that offensive line.
First down from the 32, and whoops, we'll have to change the graphic. I think they got a penalty.
Yes, so.
We get it from Gordon McCarter.
False start, 67 offense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Let's take a look at the graphic again, Tim, because we had to update it with that penalty. But in any case, taking a look at this offensive line report, one hurry of their quarterback, their average yards per rush, 6.4 is awesome. The best defensive team in the league against the running game is Miami. They average 3 yards per rush against them. Short yardage, 5 for 5. That's 3rd and 2 or less. And they've had 2 penalties now for 15 yards. That is an A+ on the report card.
Well, the Hilgenberg brothers think that ought to come due at contract time. Mays, good piece of running by Ruben Mays. Gets him up to the 37-yard line. Ruben Davis and Hamilton made the stop. The Bucs on that opening series. It produced a touchdown, used up 10-16 of the first quarter time. Since that time, they haven't even reached that mark. Saints have done what they like to do and what Ray Perkins and company were trying to take away from them. Time on the clock. Second down and 15. Hayward to the 40-yard line. It'll leave third and about 12. Bennerty comes on, and Gerald Alphin, a wide receiver, number 86. Tight end Brenner comes off the field. And the Bucs send on defensive substitutes of the long passing down. Rodney Rice, Eric Everett into the secondary. Steve Welch will try to keep possession here with a passing first down on third and long. Deep sideline for Alphin. I don't think Alphin ever saw the ball. And it's out of bounds, incomplete. For an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Well, Tim, the Atlanta Falcons not about to give up at Soldier Field in Chicago. Chris Miller from the 5 rolls left, looks for and finds Tracy Johnson in the end zone. Falcons add the extra point, and in the third quarter, they are now down by a score of 24-10. Back to the Superdome in New Orleans. Tim and Herb.
Well, Chris Miller, a fine young quarterback on a team that's developing. They may lose that game and see more this year, but Atlanta's on the rise no matter what. Barnhart punt. Fair catch signal at the 22-yard line by Willie Drury. We'll be right back. Across at the Superdome, the New Orleans Saints with a healthy lead here in the fourth quarter. Craig Hayward's been the main man on the ground, 150 yards. And, of course, the blocking up front you've already commented on. And you mentioned these hats. This is an official Saints Attaboy hat, folks. They'll have to hand out a bunch of these again.
When we asked Moore what that meant, he says, it means attaboy. Patted him on the back, attaboy. Good job.
He brought that over from the USFL. The players kind of scoffed at the idea when they were T-shirts, but they've gotten into the hats. Everybody likes hats. Now, Testaverde coming off the bench. Irv, what does this mean for him? He's got to start from 28-7 down here. The last series wasn't successful. Well, Bruce Perkins, will be dropped for a loss. He couldn't have expected to play in the game. They're going to go with Chris Chandler. He suffers a concussion, and suddenly Testaverde's in off the bench.
Well, Testaverde's in there, and unfortunately, he had to come in. Now, here's Chandler. They're working on him, trying to get things cleared up for him because of that concussion he suffered. But it was tough for Vinny because he came off the bench cold, and the first thing he had to do was come in and throw a pass. What happens? The Saints blitz him and knock him down from the blind side. So now he has to kind of get himself together and see if he can't get into the groove here and work himself into this game.
That is Perkins out of the backfield. A free agent from Arizona State that Ray Perkins said, hey, you know, I just couldn't cut this guy. He just had such a good camp. I was trying to find something wrong with the way he plays this game. Said I couldn't, so I kept him.
Yeah, he decided, hey, this guy's a pretty good football player.
And they released another fullback, Jamie Lawson, last week, so they have only 4 running backs, and Perkins is the backup to Reggie Cobb. Third down and 2. Mark Carrier for the first down. The 44-yard line.
The Saints this time decided to go into the zone defense, Tim. As Testaverde goes back this time, he gets good protection. Has plenty of time to deliver the ball. Carrier rolling inside between the defensive backs and linebackers, right in the hole there of the zone for the completion.
13-yard gain on the play, and the Bucs moving upfield. Sacked again, Pat Swilling. His third of the day, 4 for the Saints.
Pat Swilling is having a field day. Number 56 at the top of your screen to the right. You can't see him. Here he comes now. Again, beating Paul Gruber, who's a pretty good pass blocker. breaks him down, getting inside of him, and Testaverde goes down again. 3 sacks for Swilling, all in the second half.
6 on the season for Swilling, and he's playing with a sore elbow to boot. 2nd and 15. Swilling again. They set up the screen to Anderson. Anderson gets about 8, maybe 9 on the play, well short of the first down. Wilkes and Von Johnson, not a bad idea to screen where Swilling was.
That is one way to defeat a blitzing linebacker or somebody who's putting that much pressure on a quarterback is throw the ball to the area in which he just vacated. So Swilling again, coming on a blitz maneuver, finds Anderson, running a pattern right where he vacated. Here's the pressure right here. Vinny, knowing that the heat is on, timed it up well and delivered the ball.
Benny Thompson and Milton Mack into the secondary on the 3rd down and 6. 4 wideouts, Hill, Pillow, Drury, Carrier, and it's intercepted by Cook. Yard return to the 3-yard line.
Tell you what happened, Tim. A couple plays earlier, Vinny Testaverde hit a hook pattern on that side of the field in front of Troy Cook. Troy Cook told me earlier this week that I have a photographic memory. If you run a pattern against me once, the second time I'll take it. It's exactly the same pattern. This time he steps in there, takes the ball away from Carrier, rambles down inside the 10-yard line. He's had his hands on 5 balls this year where he thought he should have been intercepted. 3 of them, he said, should have been touchdowns. Today, he finally got a hold of one.
They only have 3 interceptions coming into the game. That's been something they've been unhappy about here, the secondary of the Saints. Now we're on the verge of a blowout. Ironhead to the 1-yard line.
Tim, on the verge of a blowout. How much time do we have left in this game? I think the Saints have it pretty well under control.
They certainly do.
I know it's not over till it's over. I know all of that.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
But if they go plus 30, that's a blowout. That's where we're headed here. Once they get over that 30 mark, 28-7, and they're at the 2-yard line.
I'll tell you, the thing that you have to be impressed about with the Saints, though, Tim, is that during that period of time when things weren't going very well, they never panicked. The coaching staff said, we have a lot of good things going on with this team. Let's build on that.
Reuben Mays. Touchdown. Well, Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, enjoying that action with his friends in the Superdome box up there.
Very basic play, Tim, from the I formation. Again, Hayward getting a lead blocker, put his thumb way in there. But Reuben Mays following his offensive line through the hole for the touchdown. Again, on the right side of the line that time, Capillo and Sam Brock, the primary blockers.
A 1-yard touchdown run, his 2nd of the afternoon for Reuben Mays. Anderson with a point after. And a 35-7 New Orleans lead.
The First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, and by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
Oysters. Send some of those up here. New Orleans is where to eat them. Morton Anderson will kick it off with a 35-7 lead. Willie Drury, the deep man. Frank Peebles hurt earlier in the game, has not returned. And Chris Chandler, who started at quarterback, out of the concussion. Drury will not bring it out. So the Bucs will start from the 20-yard line. Eddie Testaverde continues at quarterback. Remember, they don't have another one dressed today. Next week, a reminder that our doubleheader day of NFL action here on CBS begins at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today and a visit with Mike Ditka and Dan Reeves, former teammates, and they're still close friends. They're two of the league's most successful and intense coaches who share more in common than Super Bowl appearances. They're both back from heart problems. The road to recovery next week. Well, these Buccaneers not feeling too good about developments here today. Watching Chandler go down and the Saints roll it up. Incomplete. That one dropped. A flag on the play. Frank Pillow. Testaverde delivered the ball on the mark. Boy Cook broke it up. Cook just picked one off and returned it down to the 3-yard line.
Pass interference. Number 41 defense. Automatic first down. Start of the foul.
Interference charge against Cook on that one. So Pillow gets a reprieve.
Tough position for Vinny Testaverde to be in, though, Tim. Everybody in the house knows he has to throw the football. So the Saint defense now, all they have to do is dig in and, like a track meet, get back to the quarterback as fast as you can.
He's had a lot of experience in this situation. Anderson. What was different for Testaverde this year was that early in the season, when things were going better for the Bucs and were running the ball well, he didn't have to throw from behind. He didn't have to throw a lot of passes in a game. Averaged about only 20 passes through the first 3 or 4 games of the year.
Yeah, their game plan was working basically the way the Saints' game plan has worked today. Controlling the ball on the ground and then throwing very conservatively and selectively when you had to.
Second down, a long 4. Another sack. 5 sacks on the day. Jim Wilkes gets that one, number 94.
Tim, Big Goff told us when he was at Tampa that one thing he can do to Vinny Testaverde is when you get close to him, yell at him, and he'll respond to that. Now, Jim Wilkes, number 94, coming in, I would suspect, as he was approaching Testaverde, he was also screaming at him at the same time. Then he brought the ball down, another sack.
Well, there are the Saints sackers swelling with a big day today. He's up to 6, and they've got 26 in all. Well spread around, including safety Gene Atkins, who will sneak up there and blow in. Testaverde gets the ball off. Are they going to rule it a sack? Evidently, yes. Swilling again. 4th of the day.
Swilling is on a record-breaking pace here. He's had 4 sacks in the second half alone, most of them on either Carl Bax or Paul Gruber. Number 56, Pat Swilling, from his linebacker position, coming up with another key sack.
Man, this is not a pretty sight for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Swilling enjoying every second of it. Royals will punt. 7:53 still to play. Bobby Morris. Ankle tackle on him at midfield by Odie Harris, but they're in Tampa territory. Well, there's Ricky Jackson. He doesn't have a sack today. Pat Swilling's got most of them, tying his record, but Jackson showed some other leadership qualities. Earlier this week, he read about a young man by the name of Nat Adams, a freshman football player, local high school, suffered a severe injury, went out and raised some money.
It sure did. It was kind of funny. Went to his teammates and said, hey, guys, I don't know this kid from Adam, but he is a football player. I'm putting in $500. You guys give me $100 apiece. Every single Saint player came in, delivered him money, and yesterday, Jackson took the money to the youngster at the hospital. Met him for the first time.
Yeah, over $7,000 from the players and coaches, the officials of the New Orleans Saints. Nice thing. Fennerty, not much for Fennerty, got about a yard, and a bunch of Buccaneers arrive, and now a little pushing and shoving from Roderick Thomas and Dombrowski. So this frustrated Bucs team is starting to show a little frayed temper. Understandable. They're down 35-7 in the 4th quarter.
Look what the Saints have done so far running the ball. They've had 9 carries for 36 yards to the left side, 20 carries for 127 up the middle. Last week they were effective up the middle. Again, they're effective up the middle, and then 5 on the right side for 44 yards. You have to shut down the middle. It's going to stop the Saints running game.
2nd and 8, that's Derek Martin, and he has a first down, New Orleans. 34-yard line. 13-yard gain on the play. Keith McCants and Irvin Randall made the tackle. Walsh 7 of 12 at this point. And what a day this defense is having for the New Orleans Saints. There's the main man, willing, kind, Ricky Jackson, 4 sacks in a game, New Orleans mark. Hayward. Roderick Thomas got him. Then got some help from Harry Hamilton.
Tim, you know what happens when you have a force like Hayward in the game? It's going to change defensive teams' thinking in terms of what you do to stop a guy like that. Right now you have linebackers like in the game today who are 235, 240 pounds. If you have a running back 260, as Hayward is, who as effective as he is, your linebackers are going to have to get bigger to stop him. So I can see over the long run, if Hayward continues as he is now, the league saying, let's get bigger people up there to stop this guy.
155 yards rushing for Hayward. Mays. And Mays gets about a yard before he scores back. And again, Dombrowski now. Robinson trying to get at Dombrowski. He's got a hold of his face mask. I'd say that physical mismatch is a bit of an overmatch for Robinson, who did well just to hang on there. Virginia man, Jim Dombrowski.
One day maybe Dr. Dombrowski. You know, he majored in biology at Virginia and hopes one day to become an orthopedic surgeon. But this time he's a football player, mixing it up. Jim Dombrowski, number 72. What happens, Tim, is that when tempers start to flare, all these guys are sort of like macho men. You know, no one wants to be the first one to back off. And what you need to do is have your teammates and referees get in there to separate them.
Third down, and they need about 6. Walsh gets time and then overthrows Martin, intercepted. Harry Hamilton takes it out of bounds. At the 17-yard line, Walsh sailed that one up, and Harry Hamilton had a freebie.
Sure did, Tim. He overthrew the ball. Hamilton playing a deep safety position. It looked to me as though the Buccaneers did some sort of a zone coverage. Hamilton, number 39, playing in the deep middle here. The ball just sails out of Walsh's hand here. It's overthrown. Hamilton coming inside here to pick it off. That's his 3rd interception of the year. Does a pretty good job picking that one off. Defensive back from Penn State. Hamilton and Mark Robinson together, both Penn State defensive players, do an exceptional job back there.
Well, at the Superdome in New Orleans today, it has been all New Orleans Saints after an early lead by the Bucs, who looked awfully good on their first drive, but have been overwhelmed since then. They've lost quarterback Chris Chandler, who started the game to a concussion in the 3rd quarter, and Testaverde off the bench has had action like that. Ricky Jackson nearly got himself a sack. Testaverde got the ball away incomplete.
I tell you, Tim, you can say all you want to say about quarterbacking, but unless people up front stop these people, you have to block them to give your quarterback a chance to deliver the football. Ricky Jackson here simply overpowers everybody. Offensive lineman, then Cobb throws him away, and Testaverde has to be wondering to himself, wait a minute, guys, give me some help here. We have to start blocking up front.
2nd and 10. Testaverde with a short drop, gets it off to Pillow in a hurry, and that produces a first down. The 30-yard line.
Difference, Tim, is that the Saints defensive line does not have to worry about any kind of run action. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run the ball, of course, that's, it's not going to hurt them. They can give up running plays now. All they're thinking about now is pinning their ears back and getting to the quarterback, and it's very difficult to stop a defensive team when they're coming at that force.
Carrier goes out wide to the left, Pillow into the slot. Early movement by Turnbull, but he got back, it appeared. Ron Hall, the tight end. Good coverage by Mills on him, stopping him after a gain of only 2 or 3. Testaverde trying to make those short drops and quick passes against all that pressure. It'll be 2nd down and about 6. And Tampa Bay takes a timeout here with 3:37 remaining in the football game. Getting a little workout here today in the 2-minute drill. That pass incomplete, intended for Gary Anderson. But you know, there are no questions answered for the Bucs here today, except that their problems have increased. I mean, they're going to fall to 4 consecutive losses here. And whatever the quarterback controversy might have been or could have been or should have been, would have been stuff, here you've got Testaverde coming off the bench because of an injury to Chandler. So what does Ray Perkins do next week, Irv?
Well, if Chandler's not ready to go, he goes with...
What if he's ready to go?
If he's ready to go, I think he picks up where he left off today. Chandler's going to be a starter, is my guess. But Perkins says he does not have a quarterback controversy. He knows what he's doing at that position.
Until he gets home.
Oh, yeah.
First down, Testaverde completing that one for about a 7-yard gain, and Harvey made the catch, and they've got it down to the 41-yard line. Testaverde pumps once and goes deep for Pillow, and it's overthrown. Massey had the coverage on Frank Pillow. Bucs came into this game still very much in the playoff picture at 4-5, and indeed, when you look at the rest of these standings, even this loss doesn't knock them out of the playoff picture by a long shot. They will be 4-6 when it's over. But the way the league has gone this year, with only a few teams at the top of those big records like Chicago and the Giants and the 49ers, hey, all these guys are still in it.
The thing that hurts, though, Tim, is that the Bucs' expectations are so high coming into the season. Even Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the team, predicted they would win 11 games this year.
Testaverde, that's complete to Carrier. Carrier finding a nice hole there in the open and going to it. Testaverde with a good pass to the 21-yard line of the Saints. That'll take him to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back at the Superdome in a moment. Jim Morrow with his fancy new wireless headset. He can kneel down, walk around, do whatever he wants out there, and he's got to feel good. His team is going to move to 4-5 in the NFC West. Well, tonight on CBS, we'll have 60 Minutes for you. And if war breaks out in the Middle East, the Pentagon has a $12 billion baby that can shoot down any attacking helicopter. Sounds good? Well, it doesn't work. $12 billion, and it doesn't work. That shocking story tonight on 60 Minutes. Followed by Murder, She Wrote. And the CBS Sunday movie, Fatal Attraction. That'll get your attention, that film.
You see that movie?
I saw it.
Oh, boy. The thriller.
On first down, in and out of the hands of Pillow. Testaverde threw a perfect strike. Pillow's got 2 or 3 in a row and drops that one there with the end zone in front of him.
This ball couldn't have been thrown any better, Tim. This time, the offensive line did give Testaverde time to deliver the ball, and Pillow running a post pattern. You'll see him at the lower end of your screen here, coming into the picture in a second here. Testaverde delivering the ball right on target. Really terrific throw between the linebackers and deep back. Pillow simply dropped it.
Testaverde now 10 of 16 for 100 yards. Second and 10. Pillow again, and this one he grabbed in traffic. Make it Carrier, Mark Carrier, pardon me, 88. And Carrier gets to the 10-yard line and a first down. 1:40 remaining. Bucs just want to get it in the end zone, get some points. And a high snap. Testaverde handles it well, but he has dropped again. And this time by Joel Smengi, a rookie from Western Michigan.
Let's take a look and see what's happening over Randy Grimes' nose. Actually, he's in pretty good shape, but it's just a bad snap. Anticipating an aggressive line rush from the defense. Gets the ball up higher than it should be. Testaverde does a good job of getting it back.
1:30 remaining with a timeout on the field. Buccaneers taking the timeout with the ball back at the 25-yard line. And we talked about the Saints, who will move to a 4-5 record in the NFC West. And Walsh now 2-2 as a starter. Hilliard and Wayne Martin have been out with injuries, and they're going to get them back as early possibly as next week. Wayne Martin, the starting defensive end, and Hilliard adding even more running back power. And next week they go to Washington. That's tough duty for them there, but then they come home to Atlanta and play at Dallas. So how do you analyze the rest of the Saints season when you see the schedule ahead, Irv?
Well, I think they're in pretty good shape. Where their offensive line is playing, Tim, they've been blocking well for some time. Now everything seems to be coming together with a running game. Whether it's Washington or Dallas or anybody else, I think they can control the line of scrimmage against those ball clubs on the ground.
Owner Tom Benson has gone down to the field to celebrate. Testaverde can't find anybody. Now finally breaks out of there and takes it out of bounds at the 22-yard line of New Orleans.
Pretty nifty footwork by Testaverde, moving around the pocket, trying to find an open spot to deliver the ball. But the pocket kept collapsing around him, and every step he took, he'd find himself facing a black jersey from Saints.
Now they've got a third down. Coordinating producers of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. The game today produced by Daniel H. Forer and directed by Michael Arnold. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. Our senior producer, David Winter. Executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. 119 and counting down. The Bucs on the way to a 4-6 mark, and New Orleans on the way to a 4-5 mark. Incomplete, intended for Carrier, and it was Benny Thompson putting the lick on him, the first-year man from Grambling. Benny Thompson and Vince Buck, two first-year guys. Buck, a true rookie from Central State, Ohio, was hurt earlier in the game and hasn't come back. Thompson, 27-year-old, who played in the Canadian Football League, has come down here as a first-year man from Grambling. They are going to be really featured players in this secondary as the next couple of years go on here in New Orleans. Suddenly, that secondary just looks better and better with the addition of those guys.
Thompson is a real hitter back there. He's very aggressive.
Fourth down, and the Bucs, of course, going for it. Testaverde, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Thompson. Intended for Carrier. Testaverde was high and long, and Benny Thompson has himself an intercept.
That's Benny Thompson's second interception of the year, Tim. This time he's simply playing in a deep zone in the middle of the field, and Testaverde, overthrowing his target, throws it right to him. There's a rotation here, three-man rush. He has plenty of time to deliver the ball, flagging it off there, but Thompson doesn't go for it. Here he is in the deep middle, just waiting for the ball to come to him. Interception number 2 this year.
First down at the 20, with 1:07 to go, and the Saints just content to use up the clock and take their second consecutive victory. And winning here at home is all the more sweet. Last week at Cincinnati, beating the Bengals handily, and a very solid performance today. Jim Mora's got to feel good about what they did here.
The difference, though, Tim, is that last week at this time, he was standing on the sidelines with his hands on his hips, chewing gum. Today, he's not doing it. No. But
what do we read into that?
Well, nothing. I guess he's not chewing gum today. I guess maybe because it's on the carpet. I don't know.
A little more relaxed at 35-7, perhaps, than last week against the Bengals at home. The Bengals in Cincinnati. Now 20 seconds and counting down. The New Orleans Saints move to 4-5. The Bucs have played one more game. They will be 4-6. Jim Mora, having given up the opening touchdown, his team against a solid drive from the Bucs, is suddenly all turned around, and the Saints completely dominating. So Jim Mora, with his team having won 2 in a row, and our final score 35-7 over the Bucs. Stay tuned for the NFL Today post-game show. Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw will have all the scores and highlights. You are watching the NFL on CBS.